Welcome to the Cinephilesden. This is VM signing in. Today we are going to talk about Enemy, directed by Denis Villeneuve. Enemy is one of the best and most underrated psychological thrillers that I have watched in a long time. Its cinematography, art direction, and music will fill you with dread. The story is shown in an intriguing and mind-bending way that will probably leave you with a lot of doubts. So, before starting, let me state that this video will contain major plot spoilers. It is advisable to first watch the film and then revert back to this video. That being said, let's get into it. The film starts with an epigraph from José Saramago's The novel on which this film is based. Chaos is order, yet undeciphered. If you ask me for just two words that may describe this film wholly, I would say chaos and order. Enemy is a film that is full of symbolism, some subtle and some direct. From the very first minute, we see that city has the smoggy appearance along with the yellowish color palettes, which gives a paranoid feeling. It shows that nothing is clear. There is a lot of confusion around. It also defines the mental state of our protagonist. Along with the panning shot across the city, we hear his mother's voice leaving him a message on his answering machine, and then a shot of his pregnant wife on their bed looking back towards the camera. These two initial shots play a vital role in the understanding of this film. These two characters are later shown as the biggest hindrance to freedom in his life. This hindrance or repression is symbolized as spider or spiderweb in his life. Here spider is shown mostly in a physical form. Spiderweb is shown in a more subtle way. They are everywhere, from walls to broken windshield. Repression has been strongly mentioned in Adam's lecture on totalitarianism.
How do they do that? Lower education. They limit culture, censor information. They censor any means of individual expression. And it's important to remember
graffiti of fascist Roman salute and the poster of Attack of the 50-foot woman. Adam's way of living itself signifies repression. His barely furnished dull apartment shows us threat of not being able to evolve as a human being. From his apartment's dead-up decor to his distracted tone of his lectures to the mechanical, unconsciously aggressive sex with his girlfriend, Adam seems so disconnected, so devoid of his personality, so barely there, so depressed of his existence. Adam's relationship with his girlfriend is barely a relationship but just a source of sexual appetite, whereas Anthony's life seems to be more happening and settled. Anthony has everything that Adam lacks: a place worth living, a wife, a glamorous life, but both share a common feeling internally: repression. Anthony wants to get out of his repressive life under his wife, whereas Adam wants to get out of this dull, depressive life. Anthony is a man of desires, sexual and materialistic, whereas Adam lacks the desire for anything. Adam seems to be living a life of guilt. Remember Cheater by Bob Kuban being played in the video library. Conversation with his mother, where she comments on him not being loyal in the past. Adam and Anthony are not two different people, they are just two parts of one soul. Anthony is the past of Adam that haunts him. Adam wants to mend his mistake from the past. Many strong clues given in the film support this argument, like Adam's mother mentioning his love for blueberries and his hobby of acting. Adam having a box full of memories from his older life, from where he takes out a torn post-breakup photograph. We find the same photograph in Anthony's apartment. Adam is a history teacher and the only books we find in Anthony's apartment are history books. Adam and Anthony both envy each other's life. Anthony wants to live a so-called independent life away from his wife, and Adam wants to return back to Helen. At this point we see Adam and Anthony switching their life. As Adam gets closer to Helen, the life of Anthony and Mary get messed up. Here we see Adam making love with Helen and their Anthony and Mary dying in a car accident. Now, there is no Anthony or Mary. That means Adam is sober again. Looks like a happy ending. But then Adam finds the key to the private strip club and the vicious cycle resumes. Adam couldn't control himself and becomes like Anthony again. At this point, we realize that this is a never-ending cycle just to prove Hegel and Marx correct.
Class, we talked about dictatorship, so today we'll start with Hegel. It was Hegel who said that all the greatest world events happen twice. And then Karl Marx added, the first time it was a tragedy, the second time it was a farce.
But is it all for real? Well, here's my take. The whole film takes place in the subconscious mind of a man, for our preference, let's name him Joy, who wants to go back to his wife, quitting his affairs. To analyze his step, he splits his character into two as Anthony and Adam. Here Adam goes back to his wife and Anthony goes away from his wife. The two possibilities that he has. The character of mother represents his conscience, which keeps on reminding him his mistakes. Joy receives a call from his mother in the first scene when he shifts in that dull apartment. The mother again tries to motivate Joy to move in the right direction, also clearing his doubts when he visits her. He even receives a call from her in the end, but he ignores it, takes the key. Part of Joy finds her repressive, so Joy symbolizes her with a giant spider in the next scene. The other spider in his life is his wife. In the strip club, we see a stripper crushing a spider. This shows the end of Anthony's relationship with Helen. Later in the film, we see a stripper with spider's head. This shows how he feels repressed by women in his life. Giant tarantula in the end scene is Helen, who is scared that Adam is going to be unfaithful again. If we analyze these two posters of the film closely, the first one shows a city with giant spider in the mind of the protagonist, and his attire is very similar to that of Anthony. The second one shows two identical faceless, masculine bodies as one. It is like two faces of the same coin. So, these two posters verify that our assumptions that the whole episode is taking place in the mind of Joey, the real characteristics of Joey are very similar to that of Anthony, or say that he has been more like Anthony in the past. And the second one clearly shows that Adam and Anthony are not two different people. There are a few more subtle symbols showing Adam and Anthony are one satellite. If we see closely in this billboard, there is use of single L instead of double towers. Identical looking buildings, especially these towers, from a certain angle it looks like the other one is emerging from the first one. And same sunglasses. But who is the real enemy in this film? In my opinion, the real enemy, Joey himself, his desires, his fear of commitment, his inability to lead a relationship with faithfulness. Joey's inner self is his biggest enemy, as it is said that enemy lies within. So that's all. This is my interpretation of the film, and I would love to hear your version too. I believe that there is no wrong interpretation of a film or any piece of art. It's just your and my version, which is based upon our understanding and experiences. At this point, I would like to end this video. If you want to support me in the comment section of this, then please find the links in the description below. This is VM signing off. Take over the comment section. Thank you.
It's the story of a man that has an affair, and he's married. He's a married man having an affair. He's going back to his woman, to his couple, and we see that from the subconscious point of view. That's the way I can explain the story the most easily.